Hi, I'm Judas. As always, you come here. I know why you come here because I put it on my title about how to make a comic with a good drama in it. And this is basically on something that I've been working on. It's an ongoing project, and I want to show you a little bit of that because I think I've been making a lot of process on how I make a story, especially on writing a comic, which is on it. I have like drama based and more emotionally based on it. So a lot in my life, I've been like consuming so many art, so many comic, like usual, like what early young age people would do. And honestly, on my experience, I spend a lot of my time watching or reading manhwa or manga. And the most that I remember a lot is the one that is giving me a lot of emotion is one of the film that is Green Miles. It shows how much of a vulnerability and the character of bringing so much tears. And then like cell number 7 for film, it's also like bring me a lot of emotion in it. And I was wondering, how do I get that type of emotion coming out of me from watching all of this type of media that I've been consuming? And as I trying to knowing about it, and I was looking like from my own perspective on this film, there's thing that I really like about the character and I can relate with it. And the way that I translate it, it's like the thing is that make it a good film, an emotional film. It's because they have the outer life lesson in it. So how do they make that? They just pouring the feeling and the words that trigger the emotion that they have in it. Like for example, I've been making one of my comics surrounding on letting go of people, or like being a supportive and good partner, or something like you insecurity, like you never feel like you're good enough. That's the life lesson that as a person I've been going through a lot over the years, couple years. And the thing is, it triggers a lot of emotion in me. It triggers a lot of happy and sad emotion in me. And to be honest, I kinda think this is like a good way for me to coping from all the issues that I have, to express all my emotion and to make it possible for me to finish the work. I actually did make it in an art style that is easy for me to finish, and I end up making it in a fan AU of this alternate universe of Five Nights at Freddy's, but make the whole animatronic into like a living animal. So the equivalent of that word is like Zootopia. Like in a movie of Zootopia, each character have their own limitation, have their own limited belief, have their own characterization. In the fan art that I make too, I did that as well, as if it was rewritten all over again. And I was like making this Foxy having this pen pal hobbies, and he was like someone who is older in the group. And then there is Chica, who is also having this like whole thingy around food and wanting to go out and travel. And I want to go deeper with why she want to travel around the world, as including it from her childhood rooted. And then for Bonnie, he was like the youngest of the group, so he tend to still exploring himself and trying to have like knowing what is normal and what is not normal. And I want it to be seen from like the perspective of like you're just learning on an adult life, which is the stage where I am right now. And I think that a lot of Bonnie's struggle are like really shown in my own life. That's why he was like probably will be the most character that I'm going to use on this fan AU. And in here I have Freddy, which is like he's more a laid back chill guy who likes to sing and like more into a realistic person, and I want to having like more in depth with the character, and I always putting the character in like after work situation because I want them to be like like having like coworker chit chat talk. And after that I think like all of this world building really line up nicely for me in my opinion, but I know I cannot know if it's good enough or not without a feedback, so I'm going to post it on my TikTok. So the thing is, to make the story is good, you have to make a dialogue between character to storytelling the whole story without making it so much like robotic or a narrative type, because when you're trying to make it like a narrative it's not really relatable, but when you're doing it in a way like talking with other person in a dialogue, it will be more relatable because it can show a personality, people can put themselves in the character too. And because this is like a short comic, you have to make the dialogue pretty simple and effective on telling the story of what you want to make. And for me, I think the way that I talk to myself a lot of the time and how I reflecting stuff is like I'm being my own devil advocate and trying to like talk to my inner child, like talking to a kid and asking simple question and then bringing it into more open question to them to make sure they have critical thinking and how they can solve their own problem and sharing their own journey in it too. And then I done making the dialogue, I come into the next step, which is drawing and illustrating. It's one of the most effective way to also sharing the expression and the tone of the dialogue they want to share and what you want to make the situation with, the whole tone, the whole atmosphere. On my art style, I really rely on the eye because that's the biggest thing on their body. When you see my art style, you see that their body isn't that articulate, but their eye is super big and you can really tell what they feel using their eye. So I'm going to give you an example of how I use eyes as the expression of this character. For example, when they are like crying, I'm going to make it more wiggly on the inside and more squishy, and when they're mad they will be like more squished and like make them mad, make the whole thing like this. And then when they're happy they'll be like the mouth will be like more on W, and I mean W, and then the eye will be a little bit squished if they're like really happy, so like their cheek was like pushing on their eye like this, like that expression, and then their eyebrow will go up like more expressive than mine of course. And then for like surprises, the eyebrow going up, eyes going wider or like more circular, and then you make the pupil go smaller. And that's like the whole thing with the eye expression, because eye is the key to soul. But yeah, overall it really working out for you to make an expression using like the eye, because some of my character isn't really that expressive, especially a big or long snout character like fox or wolf. It's kind of hard to make them look like they're sad or like or angry or smiling, because their snout is so long and mostly like they look like fish shape. But it can be worked, but also it's kind of hard just telling from the mouth shape, so I really use their eye to express their emotion. Next, in this whole dialogue, I think you should Also add that the character like they realize something and they learn something from this conversation alone, and not making it like a stagnant, because this is a very short comic. You have to make it short, you may have to make it as effective as possible, because you want to give people value in your comic, especially in like a drama category. You just don't want to make it like a pointless toxic drama on the internet. You want to actually give a resolution to other people and make people feel the emotion that you have been through or relate with. And I hope from this video you also try to make your own simple comic to express yourself, especially your feeling, because whatever it is, I know damn well that we all learn something from our journey, like even if it was really bitter or something that is really sad, you can always send it to people and make people feel like they're seen and heard by you too. And at least you're doing something, at least you're posting yourself, at least you express yourself, which is great, which is way more impactful than you keep silent and doing it without knowing you have been progressing or not. That's all I can have for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great time listening to my voice and my advice and how I do my own comic. And I'll see you next on my video, because I upload once a week. Bye bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment.